Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Martha. Now, what I would like to discuss with you today are places to visit in the New York City area, whether you are a native New Yorker like myself, or if you plan to visit the New York City area. I would highly recommend the following places, which I have personally visited. The first place I would highly recommend would be the Blue Man Group. They are located in downtown Manhattan, and they are off Broadway, and they happen to be in my neighborhood where I live in downtown Manhattan. I've gone to their show before, and it is spectacular. Now, I would advise for you those who don't like a lot of noise, it would not be the place for you. And for those who sit in this first, second, third row, don't wear anything that's very expensive or that you really like, because sometimes there are things that are thrown that may stain your clothes. Let me just leave it at that. But they do give you a plastic kind of saran wrap object to place in front of you. But it's a very exciting show. Lots of music, lots of noise, lots of laughs. And at the end, the whole finale of the show is absolutely mind-boggling. It is a place that you would love. It's party, party, party. It's also children friendly. But if your child does not like a lot of noise, uh, loud noise, I would not recommend to take your children there. But if you want a place to have some laughs, see something different and exciting, I would highly recommend it. I love the time I spent there. The next place would be, let me just mark that off, would be the Hershey's store in New York City. It's everything Hershey. Hershey, Hershey, Hershey. If you love chocolate, you love M&Ms, you love Hershey, that's the place for you to go. They have candy, other souvenirs as well. I've gotten, they'll have the Statue of Liberty as a, I think, the, dressed up as an M&M, I believe, with the head of an M&M. But they have so many different products there that you would love. If you have kids, oh my goodness gracious, they're gonna go nuts. I love the place. I had a great time there. So if you love chocolate, candy, Hershey's, if you love that whole atmosphere, that's the place for you to go. Another spot is that I have also visited would be Dylan's Candy Bar. It's in New York City. It's a it's just like a candy store, but a little bit more upscale. But they have candies from all over the world. That's the interesting part about Dylan's Candy Store. As soon as you walk into it, it's a kid's dream come true. So if you like to try candies from all over the world, I would definitely advise you to check it out. The next place would be the Union Square Theater. Do not worry, I'm going to put all the links on the bottom of the video. So in case if you're interested, you could just look them up. Again, it would be the Union Square Theater. I have gone there several times. They always have something going on there. Right now they have a show called Traces, which I believe it's coming to an end. I have not gone to see that particular show yet. If I do get a chance, I will stop by. But I've attended their other shows, and I've always had a good time there. It's a very small theater, nice crowd, and I would highly recommend it. Now, across the street from the Union Square Theater, there's, I would call it maybe a musical play show. It's called Fueres Bruta. It's I think it's a Brazilian name. It's a very small setting theater with no seats. It's standing room only. Now, I would recommend if you do go see this show, which is spectacular and has a lot of surprises, I would recommend not to wear, how can I put this? To wear something light, especially if you go there during the summertime. Because when I went there, I had a great time. There are a lot of surprises and a lot is standing room only. There's not a seat in the house, and it's interactive, so you're gonna have to move to make room for the cast that is performing for you, and a lot of neck action that you would have to look up. I'm trying not to give everything away. And I went during the summer, one summer, and at the end of the show, the finale, they completely hosed everybody down. I mean, when I left, I was drenched. I was not expecting that, but it was a nice surprise, and it was a hot summer day, so it kind of cooled us off. So it's kid friendly. People of all ages, I would highly recommend it. It is a blast. Loud noises again, and very interactive. The next place I would highly recommend would be the Toys R Us in Times Square. Now you've got to go. If you have little kitties, I would advise you take them there because it's the only Toys R Us in New York City that has a Ferris wheel inside. Now, if that is not spectacular, I don't know what is. I mean, in a city, we have a Ferris wheel inside a building. It's just spectacular. And it's floors and floors of toys and toys and toys. And they're very helpful out there. It's a very energetic scene once you go into the Times Square area, especially when you get into Toys R Us Times Square. The next place would be the Central Park Zoo. I would advise if you do go to the Central Park Zoo, get there early because there will be a long, long line if you don't get there early. So I would advise you get there as soon as they open up because it's very crowded. It's a very popular zoo. And it's just like a regular zoo, even though it's in the city, it's in Central Park. But don't think just because it's in the city and it's in Central Park, it's a miniature version of a normal zoo and you will not see a bear or a lion. You will see a bear or a lion in there. That's what I was thinking since, we're in Manhattan, the concrete jungle. I'm not going to see any lions or tigers and bears. Oh my, but you will. The next place would be Ripley's Believe It or Not Auditorium, which is in Times Square. Fabulous place, kiddie friendly, and they're always changing things up, which I do love. The next place, next door to Ripley's Believe It or Not, would be Madame Tussauds Wax Museum on Times Square, right next door to the Ripley's Auditorium. I love the Wax Museum. It's about, I think it's 2 to 3 floors of wax figures. They have every star that you can think of. And again, just like Ripley's, they're always adding new figures since, new stars appear every day. I had a fabulous time. And some of the wax figures look actually so real. It's incredible that the work that they put into these wax figures. The next place I would recommend is the Museum of Natural History. I have gone there several times. It's always crowded. And I think that would be a great place to go, but I would advise you to go early since it closes early about, I think it's 5 or 6 p.m. So if you have a lot of things to do in the city, I think your best bet would hit that museum first and then do your other things since it does close early. Also, I would recommend the Museum of Modern Art. I loved going into that museum. It has artwork of all different kinds, and I'm talking not only about the paintings, about the statues, The history, I mean, it's absolutely beautiful and mind-boggling when you see different sections in there of artwork and the art history. It's simply amazing. It catapults you into that period and time of art. It's just absolutely beautiful. Also, what I would recommend if you are visiting New York City or if you're a native New Yorker is to go view the planetarium. That would be inside the Museum of Natural History. Now that is an experience within itself because the whole screen you have to look up, and it's just fabulous what you learn about the whole creation of the planets, the sun, the moon, the earth. It's amazing. And also, what I would also recommend would be Dave and Buster's, which happens to be next door to Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. It's kiddie friendly, and the grown-ups will have a lot of fun. They have a section to eat, a restaurant section, but they also have a section where there's just games, and you can also have drinks and food within that area as well. And you play the games, you win a whole bunch of tickets, and you can go collect your prize. And they're open, I believe they're open during the morning hours until very late in the evening. So it's a great place for the family and for friends to hang out later on in the evening. And the next place would be, it's called the Bodies Exhibit. It's downtown Manhattan, South Street Seaport. It's been there for years now. And I'm going to put the link on the bottom of the screen, and it teaches you all about the human body. I think I would recommend it for children of a certain age because it's a very graphic. It's a learning experience, and it's fascinating on how they portray in art form the human body, and it's very educational. And the last place that I would highly recommend for you to visit, whether you are a native New Yorker or planning to visit New York City, would be another show which is called Stomp. I've gone to this show at least twice. I love it. It's been around for many years in the Orpheum Theater in downtown Manhattan, also, which happens to be in my neck of the woods. And this place, if you have children, it is children friendly, but if they don't like a lot of noise, I would not recommend it. But it's a fabulous, fabulous show. And again, if you happen to be seated right first row only, the number one rule is don't put any of your fingertips on stage, which does make sense. And also, uh, don't wear anything that you would consider to be like your favorite article of clothing or expensive, because there's a scene where they may have water or something like that that may go on you, but they usually change it up from time to time just to freshen up the show. But it's basically the same concept throughout the years. It's a fabulous show. It has a lot of rhythm, a lot of power, a lot of artistic work into it. It's fabulous. If you're into music and very open-minded, I would highly recommend Stomp. I've seen it twice, and 2 times already. It has blown my mind. So I hope my video was informative for you. I will put all the links to all the different places on the bottom of the screen. Please leave all your questions and comments for me. And if you have any recommendations yourself of places in New York City that I should check out, please let me know. Take care. Bye.